Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving. Visit acceptordecline.com to get started today.
Hi, everyone.
I didn't do it.
We were waiting for somebody to say something.
I'm like, I guess I'll be the first one. Hi, everyone.
I'm like, was I the only one dancing over here?
I guess I was kind of dancing too, not going to lie.
Okay.
So you guys, welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable. Thank you for joining us. We have Kim's Side Money Plans with us. We have Cheyenne below us, and right next to Cheyenne, we of course have Dash Theory, John, and we're glad you're here tonight. Hannibal won't be here tonight. This is going to be a little weird for a little bit because now we're all streaming this, but this is all in the hopes, guys, that all of you who have been like our biggest fans for like almost 2 years now, the hope now is that like we've grown this from like 20, 40 people that would watch at 50 to like 300-400 a week on my channel. The hope is that by streaming to all our channels that we're going to get it up to 1,200-1,300 total. Because in all reality, every video this wouldn't work with, or every live stream, but with this one, I think we've all become part of the team. And I think we should all, because the more eyes that get on this, the better. Because I mean, it's sometimes we have fun and that's good for everybody too, but sometimes we talk about some real things you should know. And at least to the best of our advice, we cannot tell you in your market what will always work or whatnot, but we can give you, even by what we see and what's happening to us, ideas when you get on new platforms. If you start seeing what we've talked about, like if I say Instacart sucks and you try it and you have a good experience with it, I know. But if I did, and I said Instacart really sucks now that they've gone down to $4 an order, but in my market, it does. And yet, like Random Ryan, he's in Austin. They in Austin, he does great. That's pretty much the only app he uses. So there will be differences. But if you get onto the app, if you try it out, and you are like Steve was right, it sucks. At least you'll know what to look for. You know.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not trying to tell you don't try an app. No, nor is John, nor is Kim, nor is Cheyenne. I mean, we don't know in your market. Shipt might be good. And Shipt was great here, but Shipt is crap now. I think same for John. John and I
haven't done Shipt in a while. It's funny. Somebody asked me if I was going to do Shipt soon. I said, no plans to, but we'll see.
Maybe around the holidays.
I just don't
I'll turn it on around the holidays and see.
If they can send me a bonus, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally, I know. Sorry, Christopher, because I know Christopher is a huge Shipt person, but I just don't like their pay model. I have a very hard time with it. I've gotten burnt a lot doing Shipt, so no, I'm just not a big fan. But I know Christopher does like fantastic on it, and I feel like he's like the Shipt guru out there, besides John.
And now because of Cheyenne, we're a multi-country, so we're going to be huge someday.
Exactly.
I mean, we're expanding. We've got East Coast, we've got West Coast. We've pretty much got all of North America covered.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yep. And then we have north of America and farthest east.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we just need a Midwestern person here.
And a Vancouver person.
And a Vancouver.
Yeah, just to make sure we're covering both sides.
That Northwest, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, you guys, thank you for joining us. We got some stories here. The first one, I'm going to take them a little out of order, but the first one, Kim, I'm going to bring up the video because do I need to even give it a preface, or should we watch it and then discuss this?
You can watch it and discuss it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that's the best way
it's pretty messed up.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, you guys might be aware of it. I don't know, but if you are, just bear with us. I'm just loading it up. and made it play the commercial again. I hate it when it does that. This is what happens in live broadcasting, guys.
Is it
All
like
right,
dead
so-
air, like a
Just like
bad
a
thing?
pose
Dead
intro.
air, dead air.
Yeah. That's why I count
This
on
is
the
where
three
you
of
got
you
that
to
little
do something.
that music, that music.
Let
Say,
me
oh,
see,
you also have
okay.
Florida man too. We have Gary too, so we have the Southeast as well. He gets our Midwestern in there too. I think we have it all.
And
covered.
he covers the homeless for us. Sorry, Gary, but it's true.
He's a utility player.
Steve, that was low.
Meeting with Gary today. Fingers crossed he has a home that he's looking at that they are hoping to,
Yay!
he'll know they'll either close on November 4th or it fell apart. But he's also not homeless, because I made the joke of, if you guys remember the Chris Farley bit about in a van down by the river, Saturday Night Live. I was like, "Are you living down by a river?" Because he's like, "I don't have a home right now." And I was like, "You living down by a river?" And he's like, "Actually, I am, but I'm in a nice Airbnb." So
We went through
He's
that.
doing
We were in
okay.
a hotel for about 7 months while we were looking for a house when we came back to Montreal.
well, hopefully this will go quicker for him.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean,
Well, we miss you, Gary, if you're watching.
Yeah. That'll be
So-
when we get the comeback.
yeah, and when he is back too, he'll be back on this show. But what him and I were chatting about is we will be doing a Sunday Fun Day. We haven't done one in like a year. So if you guys don't remember how those go, we don't know how they'll go. But they always were crazy and fun and random. So, but I'm going to share this screen. We're going to watch this video. Guys, watch it close, because there's different discussion points, at least in my opinion. It's not just cut and dry. So hold on.
with his argument of self-defense. And now, for the first time, we're seeing the brief encounter that led up to those shots being fired at the mall. Just 20 seconds. Right now, we're getting a look at newly unsealed video in the case of a Northern Virginia DoorDash driver who shot a prank YouTuber at Dulles Town Center. So the man who opened fire was acquitted on the most serious charges last week, a jury siding with his argument of self-defense. And now, for the first time, we're seeing the brief encounter that led up to those shots being fired at the mall. Just 20 seconds from the moment YouTube prankster Tanner Cook first approached Alan Coley and the moment Coley shot Cook in the stomach. This was the key piece of evidence in the case that jurors considered when acquitting Coley of the most serious charges of malicious wounding. The full 5-minute video shows Tanner Cook scoping out victims of his prank, playing odd and explicit messages on his phone. He then approaches Alan Coley, who was picking up a food delivery for his job with DoorDash. Coley tells Cook to stop several times and threatens to call police. Then a huge escalation. And in just 20 seconds, he pulls a handgun out of his pocket and shoots Cook in the stomach. Cook, who has since recovered, reacting to our Matthew Torres about the not guilty verdicts last Thursday.
How disappointed are you about this?
I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. It's God's plan at the end of the day. So,
you know, we respect what the jury says. And my family and I are just grateful and thankful that I have my son here and nothing else matters right now. That was the first time I seen the video. No mom wants to see their son be shot by a complete stranger in an occupied place. It was very shocking and very heart-wrenching.
Tanner Cook also telling WUSA 9 this incident won't stop him from making more YouTube videos.
Opinion about his content on YouTube. Do you agree with that?
I support Tanner in whatever he decides to do, and I'm going to continue supporting him.
Now, the jury did find Coley guilty of a charge related to firing the gun in the mall, but that particular verdict was set aside and is going to be reevaluated since he was acquitted on the other charges.
Okay, so what the hell? I mean, I'm at a loss of words. I've worked in a bar for decades. I've drove rideshare in the midnight shift. Yes, I carry whatever I carry. You know, I have mace, I have a knife, I have another knife. When I did rideshare, when I worked the bar, I didn't even have all that stuff. But but I would leave out of an alley at 3 a.m. So this isn't a mall. And the other guy didn't even have a weapon. He gets acquitted, except for some stupid charge. So there must be something coming up behind it. The other guy was totally wrong. Him getting out of the hospital and walking so quick is kind of amazing since he had his stomach blown out. But him saying that he's going to go back to it, like I'm right going to go back getting people's faces again. Like, and then the worst part to me, his mom.
Yeah.
I can't believe his mom is like, oh, I just support him. Like, even if he does it again, shouldn't you be saying, dude, you're done? I know you're an adult. You can make decisions. I don't know. I'm a parent. I would be like, no way. You're done doing that.
You could tell she hesitated, though. She
But
hesitated
why?
before she said that most likely because she doesn't want to say it on the news that she's actually, bothered by it or whatever. I saw this story before, like not on a DoorDash video or anything. I saw it from the other side where they were talking about the fact that he got shot. And I was like, what? And then I saw the video and I'm like, wow, that escalated real quick. How did it go from, phone in the face to I'm shooting you like that? That to me is where a little bit of the disconnect is.
This is the way I said it before, is there's definitely two wrongs, right, going on. And I think it just escalated to the point where it didn't need to escalate to. So the prankster, how many times on this show, on YouTube in general, do we always say there's going to be one day that a YouTube, a TikTok, any kind of prank is going to go wrong? Heck, we just covered, a couple weeks ago, the prank in the McDonald's parking lot. Like, pranks can go sideways very quickly, and then this is like the prime example of that. So I just don't believe in pranksters like shoving stuff in people's faces to get reactions. I think that's the wrong right there, and they're relentless to the point where this guy, I still don't understand what caused him to pull out a gun, but there's other ways. Like, violence is never the solution to anything. Like, it wasn't even
but
in
Kim,
the video.
you know that some people aren't, kindness is always free 100% like you. Some people, but what I will say is, look, at the very most, and I wouldn't even agree with that, it would have made more sense if the guy just punched the guy.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Like,
even that would have been
almost
maybe
rather
too
see
far,
him
but
get slapped, punched. Something is better, and it as horrible as that sounds, but then shooting somebody, like, shooting is just not the answer. And
so I'll play devil's advocate
I just
here.
think it's bad all the way around.
So looking at that video, there's one guy, and relative to the guy that he shot, diminutive stature, there's two guys coming at him. That guy is backing up consistently. None of us knows what's saying in that message, but there had to have been something to cause that guy to concern to repeat, like you said, stop, I'm going to call the cops. If it was just a joke or something funny, why would he talking about calling the cops and pulling out a gun? I think that's the biggest key point that, like, if you look at the environment of what led up to it, that kind of stands out to me is that there was something, and also the fact that he would have a gun on him so accessible. What is
in a mall,
like, as a driver, that guy, that area that they're doing that in, that sounds like a real crazy. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that he should have shot him, but I'm saying that guy was like, if you're scared for your life, I mean, what do you do when you're scared for your life?
But are you scared for your life? I don't know. Are you scared for your life in a mall? And the jury got to see the live video that we don't. They got to hear whatever happened.
Right. So the jury agreed that it was enough to make him scared for his life, essentially, to acquit him. It had to have met some type of reasonable, I don't know. But I do question that. Because at what point because there has to be what do you call it?
I know, but that's why I mentioned about working in a bar or doing rideshare.
Was his life threatened?
Well, that's why, again, I say, like,
I mean-
leaving a bar at 3 a.m. into an alley where I'm carrying the cash deposit out to deposit it on my way back in tomorrow. I have a concern at 3 a.m. when there's nobody
Yes.
around, where maybe if I had a gun, I'd have to pull it. But again, I wouldn't shoot it if the other guy didn't have one.
Well, let me ask this: can we confirm his life wasn't threatened?
I
In
mean,
a mall?
maybe verbally. You mean weapon-wise? No, the other guy had nothing.
There's two of the other guys too. You have to remember that.
Mhm.
Granted.
Look, man, the bottom line is that somehow he got acquitted, and I don't get that at all.
So that's what I say. Like, if it was anything, what level would it have to be to get acquitted is the question. There has to be a high level of threat to acquit somebody.
Or maybe the guy
because it wasn't
has dated mental issues, and they're going to be dealing with this some other way.
It could be that too. They could be like, he's acquitted of that, but I don't know.
Right.
It could be something else.
Maybe he was in the army and has some
major
PTSD. I don't know.
It could be
You could see that he was very uncomfortable.
I'm concerned that, exactly what Shania said. His body language. I'm concerned that he was in the mall with a gun.
I think you that's getting to a thing now because you can.
I'm from Canada. We don't walk around with guns here.
I'm in Arizona. Everybody has a gun everywhere.
My son is convinced
everybody has a gun everywhere, open carry in Arizona.
It's actually really funny. My son is convinced that in Canada and in England that he's like, they can't get guns there. Like, he knows there are some, but he's like, they can't just get them. I'm like, yeah, they can.
We can, but it's not like in certain parts of the States.
Like
but I mean, like, but anybody can go get hunting stuff, and any gun can be an issue. You guys are big hunters.
Yes,
I think.
Well, that's like a rifle different. Yeah.
My biggest thing with this is it was done in a mall where there's families, there's kids, it's in a food court. Like anything,
something ricochets.
Like something could have ricocheted. Like it could have gone. I mean, granted, the kid got shot, but it could have gone so much worse. And to me, the potential of randomly, like, what happens if this guy really was more unhinged than just the one shot? Like, what happens if it triggered and he went like crazy, and then there was a mass shooting in a mall just because someone on YouTube or TikTok thought it'd be funny to shove a phone in someone's face and go, oh, look at this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a tragic escalation from to start with the prank. Yeah, that would definitely be tragic.
Yeah,
this just goes to show a lot of people do a lot of things just to get famous, or for that.
I think even on top of that they justify it. The mom said,
Yeah, I'm trying to. I was just looking through a couple of these. I saw Vinny's. I'm looking for it right now. It wasn't that one. I was looking for. He had something in here about and so did Grandpa. Grandpa said. Brandon says, these YouTube
they
and
do push too far.
I mean, 1,000% agree on this one. I mean, I think it's. I don't see anything getting better. I'm being honest.
I hope that after at least this is out there, that people realize that there can be extreme consequences and say, okay, when somebody says stop, we need to stop immediately. Like, I think that's the other thing, is because why do you push when somebody says stop?
Yep. And Vinny, you're saying it correctly here. Up here, I saw you put this, the driver has the right to defend himself, period. I remember, look, maybe I'm very old, but I remember growing up in Michigan, there was a law about you couldn't, even if somebody broke into your house, and I don't remember exactly how this read, but you couldn't overdo them. If they came in with a knife, you couldn't shoot them. If they came in with their fists, you couldn't shoot them. If they came in with a gun, you could shoot them. Like, there was it was just this, and that's your house.
But how would that work though? Like, so someone comes in and you're like, wait, no, I have my gun. I can't do that. Let me get my knife because you have a knife. Like, how is
so
how
that
is
is
a rule?
it is I don't know necessarily from a rule perspective, but I know my uncle is an ex-cop. I have a couple retired law enforcement in my family. I know that you can't shoot somebody in the back, even if they're in your house, even if they broke in. If they're running out, they got away. You can't shoot unless you can run them down. That's a whole nother situation. But some of those things are those things that are like that. Like it's if you're not threatened, if you're not in immediate danger, you can't just execute somebody because they're in your house, essentially.
And the other part about
even
what you just said about shooting somebody in the back, like let's say that, look, if you go to learn how to shoot a gun at a gun range, they'll teach you if there's an invader to unload on it. You know what I mean? Like once you have it, don't miss, like if you actually are in danger, if they have a gun, like unload on it.
Shoot to kill.
Right. So like what if they're coming up the stairs and you take 4 shots, one goes in the shoulder, they turn around, 2 go in the back. Now there's this whole questionable thing. Maybe they'll prove the shoulder happened first, but at the same time, there could be a whole questionable thing about that. Did you shoot him in the back? What was the kill shot? I mean, to me, I only bring this up because that's your home. This is a mall.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, the guy didn't, as far as we know, he had no weapon at all. So I hear what Vinny says, that you don't know how you'll react, you're in the position. That's why I mentioned doing rideshare after midnight, where I know, Vinny, you can understand this. I did it for years on the weekends and stuff with the bad crowd. So, I mean, that's a different story because you never know what to expect there. And I guess these days, I mean, who knows? That guy could have been going in there to do a mall shooting and decided to take a DoorDash order instead. And we lucked out. Who knows? I mean,
so you're saying that it was better he got one YouTuber instead of like a whole mall?
Yeah.
That's what I've kind of heard.
And maybe that's what he said. You know, in court, maybe that's what got him off. Like, I was gonna go in there and plow people, but this guy pissed me off. And
Really, that's what got him
so
off.
I just stood my ground.
Look, it actually has
hilarious.
blown my mind to figure out why he got it or how he got acquitted.
So the interesting thing I read in the story too.
I feel like I'm with John though on this. I feel like there's something we're missing for a whole entire jury to acquit someone of this. Like, I feel like there's a big piece of the puzzle they're not telling us that the jury knows that we don't know. I don't know what that is, but that's pretty, I mean, it has to be unanimous. So
did you catch this part of the article too, where they said that they acquitted him initially for the shooting, but they initially found him guilty of discharging in a public location. So that was the crime, I think, that we talked about, the dangerous piece of it, right? But then later in the article, it said that after he was found acquitted of the first thing, they're retrying the second one to take that away. So they're even saying that even that was justified potentially now, which is what I thought was like, okay, that's why I really think like they said even that could potentially be justified. Like whatever happened in that interaction was, he was fully innocent, essentially, or fully justified. That's what I found hard to believe. That's what I found very hard to believe, and kind of swung me a little bit. But
I mean, what we wouldn't pay to watch a replay of that court case.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, seriously,
I
would pay $50 right now to watch that. Like
the Freedom of Information Act.
Just because I need to know how an entire group of people said, just drop the charges on him.
Yeah, we got to figure out how Freedom of Information Act works and see if we can get that case or get the transcript or what.
I'm really thinking it's because a lot of times like he had to push him off and he told him to stop, and like he was in his bubble. Like
I think maybe because he mentioned he would call the police first, like he knew what he had to do to get it justified.
I don't know.
Well, where was Paul Blart? You know, I mean, shouldn't he be there on the Segway coming by and doing?
I mean, those guys are doing it in the mall for what, 45 minutes? They said this was an hour into it.
You ever seen security in a mall? That's the only thing I can keep saying. Have you ever seen security in a mall?
Yeah, maybe that's why he brings the gun.
Maybe.
Like, man,
do we know like
mall.
what city, state this was in by chance?
I did see it, but I can't remember.
You said it in the beginning. I forget what they said at the beginning of the video. I can't remember what it was.
I remember it from the article too. I can't remember now. It was
Northern Virginia.
I don't know anything about Northern Virginia.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it would come to looking up their gun laws. I just find
It sounds like
again,
Virginia would be a place that would be gunny, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure with time it will leak out where it came from or like what happened in that courtroom. I'm sure with a little bit of time, maybe not like mainstream, but we'll be able to find it.
Did he get deactivated?
That's another great question.
How could he not? Like,
I mean, he was acquitted of all charges, apparently.
If they're short Door Dashers in his area, they won't deactivate him.
Vinny has a
Really?
question for us.
I think that it's for real. Yeah, I mean, like, I hate to say that, but we've talked about it. It's just numbers. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, I thought I did see something in the article that I read because I saw a couple that he was temporarily deactivated while they looked into it. He might have been fully deactivated. I don't know. By the way, you guys, I won't give away the details, but before we go any farther, I need to say congratulations to Tony and Lisa and their new baby.
Yay, yes.
So you guys need to go to the Driven Dads channel and see the video because I don't want to give away the name or anything. I actually felt like part of the family last night because he texted me and he goes, not everybody knows yet, and he sent me a picture. So I was like, yes.
Aww.
So
happy
very happy for them. By the way, they have Tony has it on some video. I'll put it into these show notes, but they have a gift registry. They have things on there from $3 to $15. So if you guys feel like getting them something, it's on Amazon. I'll put the link into the show notes when we're done here. But it's like it's the Driven family. If you go to Amazon, go to registry, go to baby registry, and then search the Driven family. It'll say Centennial, Colorado, but it won't say the address. Click that, and on there's an entire list of things that they need. So if you feel like helping, they do have 6 kids now. So this is things are very real there.
Cheaper by the dozen.
But congratulations again to Tony and Lisa. Lisa said she had her first contraction at 3 p.m. She had the kid at like 7:41 p.m. She is like a pro at this.
Wow.
Well,
when you're at 6.
Yeah, I mean,
I wish mine was that easy.
So since we're just jumping around, John, do you want to? I was actually just reading into this one too. Do you want to talk about this DoorDash Instacart? Because Instacart's failing, guys. They went live. They're failing. They're actually the first week they kind of did better than Uber and Lyft did in their first week of trading, but they're just going down. It's pretty ugly. But you want to talk about this 15 billion?
Yeah. So it's interesting. The article, DoorDash, Instacart, and some other gig app executives and CEOs have lost 15 billion from their collective fortune as basically demand is kind of normalized. They say, it's been wiped away or light demand, but it's really just post-pandemic, in my opinion. So the kind of the numbers here, the biggest losers, they have the CEO of Getter, who went from 4.29 billion in March 2022 to now 775 million. So he's lost a solid 3.5 billion. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have the DoorDash crew, who each boasted a net worth of around 3.2 billion. Everybody pretty much except for Tony Xu somehow and Tang, basically the 2 of the guys out of the 4, they went from that 3 billion to about 1.2. Everybody else went down to less than 1 billion. So they still got billionaires storing us in DoorDash. And then the last one I think was the Just Eat Takeaway or Grubhub guy. Oh no, there's the Instacart, went from 3.5 billion to 863 million. So over 3 billion down. And then
guys, this is billion. We often refer to 15 million and what a hit that is on people. This is 3 billion crazy number. Yeah. These are the billions. Wow. I mean, these are real hits.
So this is like one that I found the most interesting is the Grubhub, Just Eat Takeaway. This is the one that you would think that this one would be large because we know what Grubhub has done. but these numbers still like kind of are mind-boggling. Was at 1.97 billion and lost 1.69 billion of that.
Oh my goodness.
So that's like maybe
That's what you
200
get
something
for
million left.
investing in Instacart, you idiot.
It's less than 30. Yeah, it's 2 something. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, I have no.
Wow.
Oh my.
that's like
goodness.
80% of the money there. Yeah. So
You know
274
what makes this story kind of extra interesting is that the big investors, how often are they going to want to get into app games again? So it makes,
Yeah, exactly.
in my opinion, it makes an opportunity for smaller companies to rise up here, because they're actually going to have more of a chance, because people are going to, if somebody like a DoorDash comes around and says, oh, we're going to triple your money, they're going to be like, yeah, I did that before. No.
Well, the other
Didn't
thing
triple
too
my
that was
money.
interesting is that they were saying is that the investors are pulling out of these companies. So they're now, DoorDash and these guys, they're kind of on their own. That cash flow of, hey, we'll just burn it while we grow is turned off.
Yeah, I read a story on Motley Fool that said it was actually it was a long article, but it was using technical reasons why right now is the time for DoorDash to make an aggressive offer on Instacart. And when I was reading it, I was like, that's why I got intrigued by it. It was very long, and I was like, normally I'm like, I just don't have the time right now. But I did, and I got locked into it. And it was really interesting because I hate Instacart. By the end, I was like, makes sense. If you
Really?
were going to do it, do it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I question their value. Like, why would somebody buy Lyft right now? They don't even have $1 billion left.
I don't know, but that $4 base pay will go down to like $2.75 if it's DoorDash.
That is true.
Like when Uber bought Cornershop. Yeah, that killed Cornershop.
I'm still very sad about that.
You felt that too? Oh,
she I think she had Cornershop long. Like, I never did. I don't think, Kim, you didn't, did you?
I was loving Cornershop.
John had it too, but I think John didn't have it as long.
I was
as
late.
She did.
I was late on Cornershop. Oh,
I'm so sad.
Yeah,
that was one of the few apps you could solo app.
And the thing is, with Cornershop, you guys were freaking out because you didn't have it anymore, but we still had it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna milk this as long as I could. And then when I saw that, when they send you the bags, now they were sending Uber bags, and I was like, no, this isn't happening. It's no longer Cornershop bags.
Oh, did you actually get a Cornershop bag?
Yeah, so they would ship you the bags to your house.
Right. Well, I mean, the company that was bought was Cornershop. They were from Peru. And so I didn't know if Uber would have just been like, no, we'll just send Uber out from the beginning.
Yeah, no, it was Cornershop bags that were still coming in. They still had Cornershop on it and everything like that. And then they started bringing in the Uber bags. And I was like, no, okay, this is like the beginning of the end, but everything was still good. So, you kind of milk it as much as you could until they send that little message to let you know that they're taking over. And I was like, oh man.
And then it was like when they got the message, this is the last day that this app is gonna work.
I would still turn on my app afterwards just in case. I was like, just in case there's like one store that didn't trickle in, because Costco was the last one to switch over to Uber. We were still getting Costco orders in Cornershop when like the little grocery stores here were switched over, Dollarama, but Costco, they're like, no, we don't want to do that, until they had no choice.
So, this is when Cheyenne and I did the podcast last week. We talked about this a little bit. So if you guys didn't see it, maybe it might have affected you. I don't know. There was an Uber surge because a Canadian railway went out. Did that affect your boyfriend?
No, because competitor, CP Railway.
Okay. Oh, there's competitors to who will help.
Yeah. Well, because CP Railway, they don't do commercial passenger. They only do freight now.
Okay.
They sell the passenger side.
My point of this story is that even in Canada, they have agreements in place to not surge during problems. New York City has an agreement. It's been in place for years that they can't surge during anything. During the flood that was all over New York. They 400% surged. They're going to be sued again. They do it every time. It's really odd to me that these companies know this rule or law. They know they'll be penalized for it, and they usually lose all of what they took anyway. It's like, why do you, geez, like everything they do is illegal.
What is that saying again? It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Yeah.
But they've been given forgiveness 10 times.
Yeah, but it still happens. Children do that all the time, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. I don't know. I would think that by now, like even when when things hit Florida, they still do it. They know they're not supposed to. They still do it. It's like, you're not getting away with it. You're going to get fined. Why do you keep wanting to have your records be on display and have to deal with this stuff?
So
but
apparently,
do they get fined as much?
Yeah, I was going to say the math must be there. There's a guy in a suit that says it's worth it. Basically, that's what it sounds like.
You have to be right. There'd be no
because
other
I
way.
remember when I was younger and I worked in a grocery store, after I think it's like after 5 p.m. or after 8 p.m., you're only allowed 4 employees in the entire store. Like, it's insane. So that means like 1 cash, 1 person in the store, 1 manager, and 1 person like doing random stuff, right? But whenever it was busy, we would have extra people, and they're like, it's fine. Whatever fine we get will be less than how much money we're going to make. So they did it anyways. So that's why I'm wondering. I wonder if Uber is just like, we're making a whole bunch of money.
I mean, whoever is fining him, I guess it's kind of their fault in a sense for not saying like, let's just make this illegal, I don't know if there's or raise the fine or have it be something like, okay, now next time you do it, it's 10 times as much. Okay, I'll do it again. Okay, now it's 10 times that, and just keep going until it's like, okay, now it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I am, I just find it disgusting. And I think that they already are under the scope enough that I would stop doing it. You lose whatever you're taking in. And maybe they look at it like, hey, we're helping the drivers out at least during this. I don't know. But we're going to move into something autonomous here. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. This cruise vehicle in San Francisco. Another problem in San Francisco. And if you'll notice at the end, even the county is now stepping in. So we have the mayor, we have the fire department, the police department, and now we have the county, but like wanting these things out of here. And I'm going to show you what happened because it's a super disturbing story. So you guys know I love autonomous. So here is where the failure is at currently.
Is this where it become entertaining?
Yeah, this is where you should be entertaining.
Learning more about the accident that left a woman pinned underneath a cruise robo-taxi in San Francisco. Here's how it went down. She was actually hit by another car with the human driver and then thrown into the path of the driverless car. NBC's Scott Budman saw the video and has the latest.
The cameras on board the cruise robo-taxi captured the accident. The company is not yet making that video public, but did show it to me earlier today. It's not easy to watch the pedestrian crossing the street, not in a crosswalk, though, and gets hit by a car being driven by a driver. The force of that accident sends the pedestrian into the next lane. That's where the cruise robo-taxi comes in. The robo-taxi does stop, but not before also hitting the pedestrian. Shortly after the accident, officers found the victim under a self-driving car. The person who triggered the accident had taken off.
911 dispatchers received a report of a person trapped under a vehicle at 5th and Market Streets. Rescuers arrived to find a person under the left rear axle of an autonomous vehicle that came to a stop.
They then went into rescue mode.
Rescuers were able to use the jaws of life and other rescue tools to pull the victim from underneath the vehicle.
First responders say she was rushed to SF General with multiple serious injuries. No word on her condition tonight, but the accident is once again raising questions, fair or otherwise, about the safety of driverless cars.
We saw what happened last night. in San Francisco. That can't happen.
San Mateo Supervisor David Canepa, concerned about robo-taxis, says it's time to slow things down. His comments coming after robo-taxis got the green light to send cars to SFO.
What I'm saying is, if you have so many accidents in San Francisco, take a pause. They do this in tech all the time. They do this if there's bugs or if there's something that needs to be worked out.
In a statement, Cruise says the initial impact of the first car launched the pedestrian in front of the autonomous car. The AV then braked aggressively to minimize the impact. The driver of the other vehicle fled the scene. At the request of the police, the AV stayed in place. Cruise says their first concern is the well-being of the injured woman and say they're working with police to identify the responsible driver. Scott Butman, NBC, Bay Area News.
Okay. So the thing that you guys didn't see there is if you go and look up other stories of this, you'll see what the police had to and the fire department had to deal with when they got there, which was jacking the car up and using blocks because the car parked on her. So the Cruise not only hit her that second time, it parked on top of her.
Now, was she like underneath the tires or underneath the
No.
actual? Okay.
She was but she was being.
But she was.
I mean,
she was.
Cruise
she was
has
stuck.
low clearance. Yeah.
Right. She was crushed. Basically,
She was crushed.
Yeah.
But can I play devil's advocate for half a second?
Please go.
I gotta see where this goes. I gotta see where this goes.
You're gonna defend autonomous here, okay?
I'm not defending autonomous vehicle, but technically, isn't it the person who did the hit and run that the story should be about? Because they hit the person and then fled the scene of the crime.
I mean, that's
That's
not. I mean,
Well-
yes.
I'm just saying,
Yes. I'm not saying it
we
shouldn't.
like
I'm just saying
skipped
yes.
over that whole entire part.
Okay, I
Like,
agree.
if
I
the
agree,
person didn't do
but
the
check
hit
this
and
out.
run, then the autonomous vehicle wouldn't have ran over the woman. So it started with the person who was actually in the car driving
While I
And
agree,
ran
though,
away.
While
and
I
ran
agree,
away.
why the LiDAR is about 200,000 now is what they cost. They don't work very well. So if the person they said wasn't in the crosswalk and was just crossing, so Cruise recognizes crosswalks and all that, why didn't the LiDAR say there's a person in the road crossing before they were hit? I'm saying. Because it would have
Yeah,
seen
that
the
too,
LiDAR
huh?
should see it on anywhere above the car, whatever. It should see the person and it should just stop
But they weren't
because
in,
there's a
the
person
wasn't
crossing
in her
illegally.
in that lane. The person was actually
Who cares what
in
lane they're in? There's a person.
So I
Stop.
think it was. That's the problem, is that it did stop. That like. That's. I
Well,
think
it
that was the
ran him
problem.
over first.
But I
Well,
think-
it stopped
No,
at
they're
the fork.
thrown
stopped
under
and
the
then
person.
ran him over. That's so horrible to say.
Oh, it's so bad. Because they
So
did say
bad.
that it was the force of the first car that hit her
Underneath
that
the car.
knocked her
Thank you,
into
Vinny.
the other car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, you're right, Vinny. I mean, she did illegally cross the street. What I'm saying though is where is the
Pedestrians always have the right of way. Don't
where's
they?
this technology though? Because again, this thing should have just stopped. We're not talking about two drivers and who's responsible. We're talking about an autonomous vehicle, and this isn't its first offense. San
So-
Francisco wants them out.
So I think
they're-
the question is the physics of the matter is like, was the car going at say 40 miles per hour and the woman being thrown at it at 20 miles per hour, did it have enough space to stop? After
Well,
like
I'm gonna say what's
and
the
it's-
lesser of the offenses, right? So you have the first person who hit the woman, she projectiled into the other lane, but then the first person fled the scene, but at the same God, this lady is really unlucky. She should not
Yeah.
play the lottery. And then
she basically she got hit
what
twice
are
and
the
then pinned.
chances? Like,
That's
what
that's
are the
like
chances
And
of
then
this poor
the
woman
fire
getting
department's
hit
using
twice?
wooden blocks to get that
Yeah.
car up.
To get the
I
car up.
mean, they literally were like, she was pinned.
she got to sue that company. I don't know how much for, but definitely.
Well, also,
a
you know-
lawyer got to be there somewhere.
Also, don't we have the video? I mean, shouldn't that Cruise have the video of the car that did hit and run?
Oh, it said it does. Remember, the
Yes.
guy said he saw
So-
it. So they're probably
Right,
gonna
but I
run
mean,
that
like, it should
person
have the
down,
license
hopefully.
plate, the make, model, everything, because it records everything.
Right.
But you're saying she should sue the company for the
I'm
autonomous
saying
vehicle?
I'm saying I hope she lives.
Oh yeah.
God,
Yeah.
I hope
She
so.
can't sue
That's
anybody if she-
horrible.
I really hope so.
She was having a really bad day. That's the only thing I can say. Like,
Yeah, but see, Vinny, here's where I get weird with. This is my problem with full autonomous, no driver, safety driver, anything. It keeps getting pointed out and pointed out and pointed out by the cities it's active in that we're not there. We're not there. I've talked to technicians in the field. We're not there. I've had them on the podcast. We're not there. And yet they're running these things without humans. I mean, we've seen police officers walk. We played these videos. Police officers walk up to them to try and stop it because it's not moving at a light. What does it do? The light's red. It sees the police officer comes up and it takes it as a threat and guns it through the intersection. If I did that, I'm going to jail.
yeah.
If Cruise does that, they just pay a fine.
Well, they have to have cameras because if these little robots on the street delivering food can tell who was trying to steal the bot for the police department, I'm sure that these cars have to have cameras on them.
Yeah, I mean, and this made me bring up a couple things. Like here, I took some screenshots because I wanted to show this. So I looked up in Canada if you guys even had it, Cheyenne, if you guys have anywhere that's doing autonomous, and I pulled up some things like, does Canada allow it? They allow level 3 for vehicles authorized for purchase or sale. Level 3 is not anywhere near what we're testing on our people.
What's level 3?
Level 3 is like assisted parking.
Okay,
like
I was gonna say, like in our vehicle, we have assisted parking. We have like a heads-up display. Like we
or
have
if, like,
the,
you
know,
start
someone's
verging off the
there.
road, it can steer you back. Yeah,
exactly. Like the lane departure and all that kind of stuff. We don't have any of like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so our autonomous cars legal in Ontario. So the manufacturer plates, this was a little strange to me. The M plates are for testing, but I think that they still had to have a driver. Are any cars fully autonomous? I found this interesting. No car, no, this is from 2023. No, the article was no vehicle can drive itself, but these come the closest.
Yeah.
So nope, that's not even Canada. That's just autonomous. So we're testing things we know don't work. Where are they tested? San Francisco, Austin, and Phoenix are the only cities where unmanned ones are tested. And then what is the Waymo controversy? Protesters stop Waymo and Cruise self-driving cars with only a traffic cone. Self-driving cars, I mean, look, if a traffic cone stops, there's so many issues with these things. But then here's the one I find the most interesting. So if you guys are curious,
operational.
San Francisco, Phoenix, and Austin are all green. But look at all the purples. That's where there's a driver in the car, but they still are problematic to the T. So that's the map currently of where we're testing this stuff.
So one of the screenshots that you just showed was talking about the taxis are coming. So they'll actually have someone in the back, but no one in the driver's seat.
They have those in Phoenix already. I haven't taken them, but I think we watched it. Did we watch somebody that had one last week?
You mean an engineer for the company in the back seat, or
no, like a passenger?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So you do have driverless with the passenger. I'm wondering if maybe you guys are like, can you get one? Because I'm wondering if like you're still at the level like John for a while. Waymo only did it if you were part of Waymo's family. Is the best way I can put it. I don't really know how to say it. But like it wasn't available to everybody, but they were letting some people use it. They used their own lane leaving the airport. But again, John lives in Phoenix, and for years, ever since that accident years ago, there's been people with cinder blocks dropping them on these things from overpasses. I mean, people in Phoenix hate these things. You know,
Starting to test
Pittsburgh
them on the freeways
kicked him
now,
out.
too, apparently.
San Francisco's about to kick him out. The fire department's plowed a few in San Francisco. The fire chief, the police chief, the mayor all want the cars out. It was Governor Newsom that allowed it. And now they're saying, get them out of here. You know, because the other problem that's going on with Cruise is that they have certain routes in San Francisco that they have to take. So A to B isn't a 15-minute rideshare ride. It's like a 40-minute loop. And for a while, they were only letting a few do it. Now it only runs at night. And it's kind of a bar thing. And the new thing is having sex in them.
Well, yeah, because nobody's there to watch you, right?
Well, it's being videotaped.
I say, well, there's videos, so.
Mobile hotel.
That's true.
But it's
Someone's
I
getting
mean,
a view.
I mean, it's just, I mean, that or drugs or something. I mean, like where is this technology? You can't, you know,
That's so crazy.
To me, we're clearly experimenting in cities that pay enough or that are being paid enough money by these companies. The cities are willing to lose a certain percentage of their people. So, or put them at risk. And that in my mind, it applies to the other drivers too. There's not a good mix of a human robot thing. And
I still don't understand how we're here, but yet when you look in a driver's manual, they tell you when you put your vehicle on cruise control, you still have to pay attention and you still have to steer and you still it doesn't mean that you can't pay attention anymore. But yet we're going to have vehicles out there that have absolutely no driver in it. I don't know.
What we do, you guys don't because you're smart. We do. we like our cities sell out. Like already they're working on where it'll go from San Francisco because they need that third city for whatever reason. So the new target town that's already made an agreement is Charlotte, North Carolina, which was on the other map I just showed as a purple one, but it's going to become a green one. So I don't know why, like as they keep failing more and more and more, we onboard more cities to test them in. Like, you guys
need to test more.
No, like I've said this for a while. Like, you know what? These companies have endless pockets. This technology is not ready. Build a city south of John in the desert. Just build a city where people aren't going to live.
I think it'd have to be north. I think you go too much south of me, you're in
Well,
another country.
Wherever. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It would
though.
never work in
Just
New
find
Jersey or New
some
York.
big area, let them build a city and let all the companies test there where people are not and see how they integrate even together, because that's an issue too.
This would never work in New Jersey or New York. We are just way too congested for something like this to happen.
I mean, I think when we first see it, I honestly believe that it will be their own lanes. I don't think they'll be able to. I think it'll be more like a train. It's not going to get you to where you need to be. It's going to get you close. Because I've even seen the cruise vehicle that the whole side door comes up and you're sitting like facing each other in it. And I'm thinking like that's going to be more like a train. It's just going to take you to here, and that's like your neighborhood. And then from there you walk. But
that's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, to me, we're playing with people's lives. I don't know. I don't even know what we're doing.
We're experimenting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Let's see, what else do we have here? What? I wasn't even sure if I was going to bring this up. Maybe okay. The Texas man and the cat. Did you? I got to talk. Do you know? Did you not see this? It's been
I don't
everywhere.
think I know this one.
Sorry,
Oh
I
God,
clicked
for
it up.
real?
I didn't read the whole thing.
Oh my God, you guys! It's the
Give us the
weirdest-
rundown.
It's okay. It's the weirdest story. So, a Lyft driver in Texas took a rider, and the guy had his cat. His name is Polish Pandy. He had a cat in a carrier. And first of all, I don't know why he wasn't sitting in the back with the cat, but somehow he opened the back door. He put the cat in the back seat, and he got up front with the driver. He said he needed to go to the vet. He was taken to the vet, and as soon as he got out of the car, he shut the door. Thank you, Christopher Taylor. But he shut the door and was going to open the back door, and the driver took off, like gunned it. And so, okay, so then he does the steps. He calls Lyft. He calls the police. He texts the driver, and the driver actually responded almost like within an hour and said, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no cat in here, and I've done rides since then. Really weird, right? So Lyft actually like puts out an alert to all drivers in the area that a cat has been stolen, and if you see this cat or this carrier, and they all see it in the app. We've never seen anything like that before. But so they then Lyft actually gets together like a posse. They get together like a search party, and they like foot search the area. And a mile away from the vet, where a mile away from the vet that he dropped the guy off at, they find the cat. No carrier. This is like a day or two later. They find the cat, and it's hanging out by this real estate building a mile away. So the guy dropped him off, gunned it, took the cat, and put it at this real estate place, and then went around picking up other customers. And like he kept saying like, I had nothing to do with that. I didn't ever see the cat. He's still claiming that. But he got a bunch of threats on Twitter. Like people were like, we're gonna, like, and how did you
crazy.
Absolutely knew what the heck's going on,
Yeah. How do you not know there's a cat in your car?
Yeah. I mean, like even the cat's name was Tux, and even Lyft's David Risher, what does he say? He says, the initial response was awful. Since then, we've done a lot of behind the scenes, but I know we haven't communicated enough. We're very focused, and this will keep getting community update. He tweeted, then Risher sends out alerts to the drivers, and then he gets this posse together, and they find it. And this cat was, by the way, this cat was about to die. It wasn't going for a checkup. It had some issues, and it's okay now. It's been to the vet, but like 2 days, he was taking him to the emergency vet, and they didn't find him till a day and a half later, and then got him over there.
That's so crazy.
To me, like, again, it's, tonight's roundtable, like, guy shoots a guy in a mall. Guy steals a cat to drive him a block instead of just letting the guy take it out.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
There's some weird
odd.
people out there. I don't know what else
That's
to say.
really odd.
And they all work on gig apps.
Well, it's like the.
How about those background checks?
I know, right? But it's kind of like, Steve, you were in one of the articles, you were talking about the lady that sold the package when she was doing the DoorDash delivery. She stole it off the porch. I don't understand how nowadays people
She
would
got
actually
caught.
think,
She got caught before her third one. She got caught at first second too.
like,
Yeah.
how do you think that you could just, do a delivery? Oh, I see a package. Let me grab it. And not think that someone's going to have a Ring camera or something and see you.
It was worse than that. Actually, she had a door. I've seen the video. She had a door from the Ring cameras. She had a DoorDash bag, and she was driving around, and wherever there was a box, she was coming up to the house with the bag of food, grabbing the box, and carrying the box and the bag back.
Yes.
So like the person didn't even order food.
Oh my God.
She was hoping that, if the neighbors see me, they'll think I'm taking food to the person, but then she's carrying out a box.
Horrible.
I mean, that's just stupid. She's just stupid.
I don't understand. I really
For all
don't
we know,
understand
though,
why
she's
people
not
think
even
it's
a
okay.
dasher, is my point. She was just a thief.
Probably not.
I mean, she might have been, but she was just a thief.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she wasn't on an order. She was just a thief. And that's that's the 33-year-old that.
Yeah.
So the last story that we'll do now, because I thought we did this already, and I think we did. I can't remember what they called it, but picking up packages, dropping them off, all that stuff.
Porch pirates.
No, but
Porch
what was it called on the apps, like for the like DoorDash?
The package pickup with Uber and stuff.
Yeah, like Connect. Was it?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, Uber Connect.
Yeah, and then DoorDash did a version of it.
I
But
don't think DoorDash does it any longer.
so I think Uber had stopped too, but now they're back to it. No time to return a package. Let Uber do it. I don't like this. You can be sent to anywhere. They're launching it in 4,950 cities from Boston to Honolulu by Monday. It's a $5 flat fee, and you can give up to 4 packages and tell them where they need to go. Again, Uber Connect, and Cheyenne, if you don't know this, Uber Connect started in Oakland, California, and the whole thing became a drug ring.
Well, of course.
I mean, it was like gangs. It was like the gangs were using it completely, and that's all that was really using it. They were
completely understandable.
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes other places, starts having those same type of problems, but now they're back to it, and for a lesser amount. So you're gonna take what, all these packages, and you're gonna have no clue what they are. You're not bonded, by the way. So you're counting on Uber and your insurance to cover you. And I guarantee you, if you were to get caught with a bunch of drugs, you'd probably be okay, but there's going to be an investigation.
Of course.
And they might be the jury that let the guy off for shooting the guy in the stomach. They might find that you're at fault. I mean, and we know these companies don't have your back, like, without question. In fact, they have your back with a lot of questions, potentially.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're back to this, but I find it crazy that they somehow think the initial program went good, and so they're launching it in basically all the markets.
Well, Christopher makes a good point there. The holidays are coming up. So maybe they want package deliveries, like, oh, I'm sending a present to somebody.
It is a present to somebody.
Well, I don't think people are going to use it that way.
Yeah,
I think honest people will, but if someone's trying to get around the system, somehow they're going to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Steve, you already know. You asked me what was my favorite type of movie, and I said all these, like, shooting stuff and like drug stuff. So already I was like, my mind just went to so many places with this idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was to the point in Oakland where it was, I can't remember what it was, 2018 or something, when people don't even know that it was 5 years ago when they first launched it. They launched it in San Francisco, Oakland, and to see just in those markets how it went. It was like about 2 weeks later, there was a task force assigned to Uber Connect because they found that 2 gangs were using it, and that was pretty much the only people using it.
That's crazy.
And they started stopping orders, and there'd be like 10 pairs of tennis shoes in the back stuffed with cocaine.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean, this was just turning into a joke. And it turned out like all these drug dealers were like not having to take the risk. And instead they were letting an Uber driver do it for $5,
Exactly.
$10. So I don't know. I get blown away every time they bring back a stupid program. And then it pisses me off even more when they lower the price.
As Gigan Great North said, did they tip accordingly at least?
Well, I don't know. Gigan, I mean, it's going to be up where you are. So
you're going to see cash and say, "Don't open the box."
You're going to see it. You're going to see them on Uber Eats. That's what they'll be.
That's so crazy.
But I think they're going to come through. Yeah, it comes through because I'm looking at the screen right now. It comes through as like send a package, receive a package.
Why doesn't this box smell like Legos?
Well,
it's a Lego box, but
by the way,
I don't hear any Legos.
Funny enough, John, that was the reason why they were using shoes, because they weren't new shoes. They were using used shoes in case and putting it in the trunk in case a police dog came, hoping that would throw it off.
The smell of the dirty
Yeah, just nasty shoes. So I don't know. Another bad move by Uber. I guess I just thought we'd end on that. But Kim, what do you got going on this week before we close down tonight?
I'm working on a video. It should be out hopefully, possibly tomorrow. Depends on if I want to stay up a little later tonight to do it. So I have that. I'm trying to think what else. I have Money Hungry on Wednesdays. So we just got through yesterday's, and now I'll turn around next Wednesday and do another one. So that is on the rideshare guy. I'm trying to think what else. On Thursdays, I am here. Next Friday, I have a video coming out for the rideshare guy, and I really think that's about it.
Don't you every Friday?
It's every other Friday.
Oh, every other Friday. Okay. And then John, what do you got going?
All right now, learning some new skills. Don't got a video planned to use it on yet, but just doing some up training, for lack of better terms. So maybe a better video in the future to come. Probably, yeah, in a couple of weeks, probably later this month.
And then, by the way, guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe to Cheyenne's channel, because we're trying. She's getting close to 1,000, and we always want to hit 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed, go give her a subscribe. But
thank you.
So what do you've had some action on your channel lately? What do you have coming up? And I've seen you dropping videos too. So
yes, I dropped a video this morning. They're not consistent though. Like I can't say like, oh, I drop every Monday or every Wednesday. No, it's whenever I get to, with everything else that's going on. I did start editing the next video though, because I'm catching up. I do want to record another Uber Eats some type of video, because for some reason my audience really love Uber Eats videos. So I'm going to try to see what other information I could get out there to help them out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Editing videos this week.
So yeah, check her channel out too, because I think she hit a perfect storm or something with the analytics. Because sometimes
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just happens, and I think that some of it's one of her videos, and then we did a podcast, and then a title with Kim and John and Hannibal and mine, and I think it's maybe bringing some cross country stuff. So who knows? Somehow she's in a perfect storm right now. So help her out. And then I see this from Bud Soda, so we got to give him a close to congratulations. I've seen you posting a lot more, Bud Soda, so you deserve it, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Bud Soda barely works every week, you guys. He puts in like 3 to 4 hours a week total
of sleep.
No, of work. It's all he just sleeps all the time.
I think it's the reverse.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. He sleeps 4 hours a week and works 6,000. So, Bud Soda, be safe out there. So obviously he's got the count. He just needs the watch hours. So, did the count drop or something? Because what did I see Bud Soda was at for subs? What do you have to? Don't you have to still at 1,000?
Yes.
Oh. Then I'm confused then.
Yeah, it's 1,000.
Well, there's different levels, but there's like other stuff like you can get more like monetized like live stream stuff, less than 1,000 subs, like super.
Yeah, I just hit that.
All that stuff. Yeah.
See, look, he's saying.
Okay, so Bud Soda, that's for the first level. So I just hit that this week. So 500 subs and then the 3,000 watch hours.
Oh, I think that's what unlocks like super chats, super thanks, but you can't be monetized by commercials.
No,
correct.
That's at 1,000
or
and
ads,
4. Yeah.
Now, does 500? Can you still do what is it, like memberships? Are they able to do that?
Yes.
And stuff?
Yeah.
So then So there's a lot of different other ways to monetize, just not through ad revenue, basically.
Oh, you can. Then why don't they just let you then? I mean, it would be to YouTube's benefit too if they're letting you do members and all that.
It's the future. They want the future to be live. That's why.
Exactly.
The future is live.
Yeah.
So that's why they brought that threshold down to entice people to do more live videos and
get away from
community.
Twitch.
And
I remember when my channel took a while to get it to 1K, and I remember that what was it, 500 or something, that milestone unlocked like a community post. That was it. It was like, you can community post now. It's like, okay. Like
that was huge though to me. I love that community tab.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I felt like that was a milestone, but to be able to get super chats, memberships at 500, that's huge, dude.
That's a lot to do now. Yeah, true.
I mean, like that would really help you keep motivated.
Because I mean, if you're gonna be doing more lives and that's on more videos, I mean, it's a lot. It definitely helps you grow.
It definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm gonna say though, and it might be, I don't know, YouTube might not really like it that much, but I actually mentioned it on Pedro's video yesterday when he mentioned that he was going to revamp the membership. There are a lot of programs, sites out there to create a membership that doesn't take a cut from what your members pay you. So for anyone, because that's actually like one of my other businesses, a membership is going to be part of that. So for anyone that's thinking about
they don't
business
take anything.
No.
Like
no,
I got to tell you, I started a members page here. Okay. But I kept it as basic as possible. I've already put out members only content. But I also have a Patreon that I've had for a while where there is content you've never seen here, but they only take like 7%.
Yeah.
So I get 93. I mean, my point is, I guess I don't understand how you'd operate if you're doing the money transaction for free.
Well, because there are like monthly fee that you might have to pay.
Oh, okay.
But depending on how many members you have, it could be worth it versus the 30% that YouTube is paying.
Right.
But
Well,
this
same
is
thing
also
with Patreon too, guys.
Exactly.
Like Patreon doesn't have a monthly fee. It's just they take 7% of whatever you're asking. And there's all kinds of features on Patreon too. They're pretty cool. It's just, here's my thing is that it's hard to get people on YouTube off YouTube.
Yes.
Like I've found that only like, 10, 11 people have been like my Patreon people. I mean, it is that low because, and I know that, I mean, I'm already, at like 5 members in here and I've only had it going for like a week. So, I mean, people just don't leave YouTube.
That is one thing. When you have people on one platform, it's hard to get them off of that platform, no matter which platform it is. But just thought I'd throw it out there. There are
you're right. And the fact that, like you said, I mean, look, guys, I mean, it's not a little cut. They take a lot. 30% is way too much.
That's a lot.
Way too much.
It's a lot. And they know it.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, it is what it is. We wouldn't, it's like not having DoorDash. You wouldn't know where to find all those customers. So without you too.
Exactly.
It's like more of a volume game. They're saying you can get more there, so they can take more of your cut. It's
exactly. Yeah, and we don't pay for it, right? So
no. So Chris Taylor, Cheyenne's link and all of our links are in the show notes of whichever stream you're watching. Yeah, but whatever stream you're watching, it's in the show notes. So all of ours are, you guys. So if you're watching on any channel, subscribe to all of us except for Hannibal and Gary. Only subscribe to them when they're here.
Must be present to win. That's the rule. You got to be present to
win. That's hilarious.
No, I'm kidding. You can go ahead. We like those guys. Gary, find your house if you're listening out there. If you make it by November 1st,
phone home.
Or November 4th. Yeah, we need you to have a home. But anyways,
Bud Soda, definitely do a live stream then.
Yeah, or Bud Soda community share like one of your best videos. You can even put a link to your longest video in here right now before we shut it down and let people click it and play as much as they can tonight. That should get you 40 hours.
Do daily live streams. Yeah.
He has been doing more live streams. So he's kind of doing his own thing with Food Fetched a little bit. Came out of some Paraworks offers. He's kind of working directly with them now. So I was telling him, make sure you vlog it because That's going to be a big deal. Nobody does that yet. So you guys
Yeah,
check
no.
out Bud Soda. Let's hope Bud Soda get there if he's only 200 watch hours away. But that said, you guys have a great night, and we will see you back here next week.
Have a great night.
Well,